Hi, Andrew here. Continuing our series on defensive ammunition gel testing, we're going to take a look at some rifle ammunition today, or at least kind of rifle. Discreet Ballistics sent me their 300 Blackout 188 grain subsonic load. As you know, subsonic 300 Blackout can fairly be considered with handgun ammunition in that subsonic means in the velocity range of handgun ammunition. And of course, rifle bullets at subsonic speed are no longer really truly rifle ammunition. They lack that energy, which is what makes them true rifle ammo. However, subsonic ammo is really popular right now, especially in 300 Blackout, of course, for a variety of reasons. One, it's a lot of fun to shoot. And two, it's useful for pest control and discreet hunting and whatnot. So there's a lot of interest in the potential ballistic performance of subsonic ammunition, but a lot of subsonic loads leave much to be desired in terms of terminal performance. They leave a lot on the table. Some of them don't expand at all, they don't fragment, they don't do anything other than normal full metal jacket stuff. And the ones that do expand, many of them don't expand through heavy clothing or whatnot. So we're going to get out to the range, we're going to shoot this through my 8-inch AR-15 with the Form 1 silencer and see how it does in terms of terminal ballistics. Okay, so good news. About a 1-inch long neck. That's the period before the disturbance starts. We see a little something comes off the track here, and it may be difficult for you to see, but here's where the bullet ended up. It does appear to be expanded. There you go. So it expanded and tore some petals off. Okay, big, huge expansion. Lost one of the petals, but otherwise fairly decent performance in the Barrigel. Let's see how it does against heavy clothing. Okay, so first off, I want you to understand that it's not typical to do heavy clothing testing for rifle cartridges. That is, rifle cartridges at rifle speed aren't normally tested with heavy clothing because the purpose of the heavy clothing test is to ascertain whether clothing fibers can clog a cavity and prevent a bullet from expanding, and at rifle velocities, that's just not something that ever happens. But at subsonic, pistol velocities, and 300 Blackout subsonic is essentially a pistol cartridge. It can happen. And it looks like it might have happened here, but I can't quite tell. Let's get the measurements first, and then we'll open up the gel block and see what happened. So the penetration is 17.8 inches. It does look like there's significant disruption here, which could indicate cutting from some petals. The neck is about a 1/2 inch long. Let's see what this bullet did. It did indeed expand, and it looks like it held together better than it did in the Barrigel. So the denim actually improved its performance. You can see that it looks like the little tip of the petal broke off there, and that may be intentional. Here's one, here's another. Looks like they come off the track just a little bit, but they don't deviate far from the primary track, so they're not really going to contribute to wounding a great deal. All right, well, ironically, it does even better in heavy clothing than it does against bare gel. So as far as terminal performance, this bullet is doing really well. It did do one interesting thing that I thought was kind of cool. It whistles on the way to the target. While I was getting the 5-shot velocity average, you could hear it whistling. I did not get the opportunity to test the point of impact shift between the solid copper 188 grain and the full metal jacket 190 grain load, which they also sent me. But the velocity was within 5 feet per second on the average of both. So it ought to be pretty close, at least at relatively close range. Obviously, the ballistic coefficient of the full metal jacket is quite a bit better than that kind of flat front design on the solid copper bullet. Otherwise, it did really well, terminally speaking. For a subsonic bullet, I know I said that earlier, but it is important to point out that subsonic rifle ammunition just isn't as powerful, duh, I know, as full power rifle ammunition. If you want to use a 300 blackout for defense, I strongly recommend that you use full power supersonic ammunition. If you want to use it for hunting in a situation where noise isn't the absolute most important factor, again, full power ammunition is probably best. But for a range toy and for discreet pest control, or for hunting in situations where it's really best to keep things quiet, and of course for hunting animals that are a little bit smaller, subsonic ammunition is a good choice. If you have any questions, if you disagree with me, I know some of you 300 blackout fanboys are going to have a problem with my opinions about subsonic. Leave a comment below. As always, thanks for watching. If you have the time, head on over to Ventura Munitions website, take a look at what they have in stock, come back here and tell us what you'd like to see us test next. As always, like, and share, and subscribe. That sort of thing tells YouTube what sort of content you want to see, and of course, that helps you see more of the content that you like. Have a great day.